import function. Should I name it map repo or should I like convert it into something useful? I'm always insanely worried about how things are named. It'll come in as repos and it's going to be in this format, in an array like that. And then we're going to basically this. Map it all into there. And since it's a map, you're going to need to turn it into return repos. We will use that function here. Did I name it wrong? I totally named it wrong. Map repos. We're going to say map repos. And it takes in raw repos. The naming schema is consistent, and it has a little converter inside of the typing file. You could spend all day, every day, just doing stuff like this. It's a lot cleaner, and like nothing fancy's going on. I like that. That does make it all in one place, and I really like when things are all in one place. I might have added a little extra. I could technically just do this. I could just do this. Okay, I just added more work for myself. What am I doing? We'll return this guy. Get rid of that. And instead of it saying raw repo, we're going to just say repo. And then instead of this, what we would do is return this little function. I just added a bunch of abstractions for no reason, like that. I don't think you're supposed to do that in your typing files, but I probably could have kept it, but that's okay. So that's done. Let's go back. Why the hell is to do smaller? Why did this happen? It's not smaller, it just shifted at the end. Why'd you do that? What is happening here? If you remove as repo, will TypeScript infer it? That's a good point. It might actually, yeah. It does infer. You can also just do this. It should return like that, so it'll return a repo. But it looks like it is inferring it. But I think this is best practice right here. So if it was missing an object, it should give me some errors. Yes. Okay. That's why I like TypeScript, is because it's JavaScript with consequences. We're going to mess with colors just a little bit, friend. What does that do? Nothing. Oh, it changed these ones. What just happened? We're going to change some stuff until we change that color. Cool. Okay, so foreground changes this one, but not this one. What if I go into here and we're going to add some borders? Let me go into the core skill sections and we're going to add borders in here as well. Oh, it's because I set the background to foreground. Let's get rid of that. So all the cards are already set like that. So we'll add a border to this card again. Well, first we got to do it right. Let's make sure it's in class name, border, lovely. Now we can set the global CSS background to be whatever. Should const raw repos equals await response.json? Yeah, I should be doing some error handling. You're right. There should definitely be some try catches here. I've been getting lazy. I don't know what kind of error it's supposed to be though. Am I supposed to wrap this whole thing into it and then return that, or never question that? I usually just shove it all in the try catch and then hope for the best. Oops, something like this. And if it doesn't work, just console log the error. I know that's probably kind of lazy. So this one should be something like, man, if you fat finger one thing and it just autofills, it gets so crazy. The raw repos is so annoying because it's actually a promise. So if I do what you said, this is the most annoying part. So if you do this, it gets really angry. Or not. Why didn't you get angry with me? Okay, normally this gets really angry. Maybe it's because of this one. Oh wait, yeah, because the response of JSON is that, because this is a promise. So never mind, I was going to go off on a spiel, but you're right. This is fine. This one's a promise, and so if you try to do it here, which is what I used to do in the past, it gets really mad. This one should also be like this. Repo array. That would be the better way to do it. At least you can tell what's supposed to be happening. If we have a console log error, we're just going to return an empty array, just so it has something. Or I could return a string that just says get connection had an error, frowny face. And then it should technically, oh no, because it wants an array. What if I just return this as the only array? Yeah, we're gonna have some problems if I do that. No, we're just gonna return an empty bracket. You need to throw error also in catch throw. All right, where should I throw the error? If like this has an error, it'll already throw it. Should I Google it? If you don't throw it, hides the failure. But I don't want it to break the website. What if for some reason Git's just down? If I throw an error, will it return an error? Will it just crash out the whole website? I haven't thrown an error in a while. Hold on. It won't crash everything, will it? Only one way to find out. What if I just did this? I can just throw an error right now. Yeah, it will. It gets real mad. Are you sure that's a good idea? Because I could just handle the error, whatever error happens, and just have it be empty. I guess that's what you're saying is it's going to hide the failure. But that's what I do in life. I hide my failures all the time. If it throws an error, what do I do? Like, that means I should handle it somewhere up here. If this throws an error, I should handle it later, right? We can do something like if repos. How do I check that? It's still going to crash everything. Having a crisis now. You show the section only if repo exists. Do I do a return this just in case? No, it won't do anything. Okay. You could just do this. You do repos and length is greater than 1. Then you can show this. Something like that. If the data is required for the page to work, throwing is fine. If the data is optional and the site should still work without it, returning a fallback. Okay. We run into a problem. Git doesn't have, whoops. Sorry, this is why you use literals. Git doesn't have repos. Let's use the correct error. We're gonna pretend a huge problem happens. Boom. Should throw an error, but then it crashes the whole damn site. So instead of it throwing an error, say for instance, it throws an error, so like it does this. I was gonna have it console log the error, whatever error it throws. I was gonna have it log the error, if I spell it right, and then have it return like an empty array, which would make it work, and then not throw an error in the catch was my original plan. So that if for some reason I throw the error and it breaks, so it just won't show. But I could do the same, I could do a try catch right here, but that feels kind of redundant. The website will still work, but if I'm working on it, I can come into here and look at my console log, and it should be throwing an error right here somewhere. It's not. It's a really quiet error. Okay, console.error. Fair enough. All right, let's see what we got here. Get repos. Wait.fetch. If response.ok failed. That's fair. That would be the right way to do it. We could still do both, actually, if you want. Technically, you can just do this all in a one-liner. So technically, you're double, triple covered if you do it this way. There it is. Okay. It's not red, but that's okay. At least it does something. Response from GitHub failed. Okay. All right, we got there.